Over time, the internet came around and the internet got bigger and bigger. And I started to collect bits and pieces of advice about creativity in many different sources. So I enjoy all the arts, writing, graphic design, painting, crafting, you name it. And I took in a lot of information about creativity from all these different avenues. And I started to notice some similarities in what people were talking about when they talked about being creative in their own individual disciplines. I noticed that they talked about two main sources of struggle that artists can face. The first struggle is believing in your bones that creativity is a process and not something that just, it's just an inspiration. And this one really blew me away because this is exactly what I had thought about creativity. The idea that artists are simply inspired, that they get their ideas like just magically downloaded from heaven. Like it's such a common trope in media, right? And I think this happens because it does seem like when you get inspired, it does really seem like magic, right? But it's also glamorized. It's glamorized for television. And I think that it puts this false narrative on what the creativity process is like. And I think that that can be really detrimental to us sensitive types, right? So, yeah, so kind of the first struggle is believing that it should just happen. But you need to learn that expressing yourself creativity, it takes work. Sometimes you might land on a novel idea, but other times you really have to chisel it out. Sometimes you really have to, it's a craft, right? You have to work on it to chisel out what you want to say. And I think that we owe it to ourselves to forgive ourselves for the fact that we can't just be inspired whenever we want to, and to not get discouraged when we have to work at it, because that is part of the process, okay? So knowing that creativity was going to be a journey was half the battle. The second dimension of the struggle is the tendency that artists can have to make the source of our motivation something outside of ourselves. I think that it's very natural for this to happen. We live in community. And so we do things for each other. We do everything for our family. We do everything for work. And we do this generally so that things will go well for us, so that, in the hope that other people will like us. But this outward facing motivation can seep into our creativity as well. We want to make art that gets into shows. We want to write music that other people will like, perhaps so that we can sell albums, so we can, make a living off of our music. Or maybe, this even happens like in early piano lessons. Like some people start piano lessons because they want to win competitions. So these are external sources of motivation. And I saw over and over again artists in all kinds of different industries explaining that creating art for those external reasons really doesn't work. That's like a fast track to anxiety, perfectionism, imposter syndrome. And I think that this is, again, especially detrimental to sensitive types who want to feel connected to their creativity. So those were the two main struggles that I learned about, and I understood both of them because both of those struggles had really prevented me from writing my own music for many, many years.